again, it's Debbie from Buckeye Homestead, and today I'm going to make my favorite air fryer fried chicken. Today I'm just making a really small batch, but normally the recipe calls for like I'd say at least 4 or 5 breasts. I haven't tried these with bone in, so I'm not sure how that would work. It would have to cook longer, of course. I'm sure the outside would be delicious, but I use a boneless chicken breast for this. Today, because I wanted it for lunch, I cut up one breast into strips, and that's what I'm going to make for mine. Now, you're going to have to tweak a little bit for the more flour you'll need and eggs, so on and so forth. But I have found that this works for at least 3 breasts, so if you're making more than 3, then you'll have to up some of your ingredients. But what I started with was 1 egg that I whipped up, and I put a little bit of water in it to make it a little bit more runny. And I just put a little bit of whole wheat flour on a plate. This would change depending on how much you have. So the good news is there's not like a specific amount I would tell you to put on the plate. You don't want to put too much and then you end up wasting your flour. So I always put a little bit, and then if I need more, I'll add more. Same with the egg. I always start out with 1 egg, and then I kind of tweak it from there. If I run out, then I'll do another egg. Whole wheat flour you don't have to use just whole wheat flour. White flour also works for this. My husband and I are trying to eat heart-healthy recipes, so everything we do is whole wheat. But the good news is it is really good with whole wheat. All right. And then I also will use some Paula Deens seasoning, and I didn't buy the seasoning. I actually looked it up. So it's a cup of salt, a 1/4 cup of black pepper, a 1/4 cup of garlic powder, and a 1/4 cup of onion powder. So I just make it up and I put it in a little shaker container, and that's just what I season with. And then this is also optional, so this is hot sauce. Depending on how hot you like it, I would start with just a couple tablespoons. If you're doing several breasts, a 1/4 cup is really a good amount. It doesn't make it too spicy, but it adds enough of that zing to make it kind of good. All right, so that is basically all we have. It's very easy. So what I do after I whip my egg up into the container is I'll put a little bit of the hot sauce. Okay, we're gonna go the other direction. Whoa. And I just kind of pour it in there and eye it. And I don't like my chicken that spicy, so I don't put a lot in there. But you can see it kind of turned it a little bit of a red color. I would say I would probably, when I was just doing 1 breast, I probably did maybe 2 tablespoons at the most. So I'm going to dip my chicken in the eggs first. Kind of get them all covered. And then dip them in the flour. Now, because this is going into an air fryer, I'm going to kind of leave it off to the side before I put on my air fryer tray, because I want to be able to spray it with my nonstick spray. So you can see, I have a little bit of flour left. This also works really well with self-rising flour. So if you're trying to get rid of self-rising flour because it's going bad or getting old, that also works really well. All right, so it's nice and coated. And then I'm going to take my spray and spray one side. And then I will generously coat with the seasoning. And then I'll flip them onto my tray after I spray it a little bit. And then I'll spray the other side. This is quick, it's easy, it freezes well. So if I want to make some ahead of time, and so I can have it for later, I will even cook it completely, and I just warm it up in my air fryer. And it turns out delicious. It doesn't, I haven't had it been too dry, and it's been very pleasing. All right, so let's put it in the air fryer. I just wanted to add one thing that I noticed after I filmed. When I ate a little bit more of them, they were a little too seasoned, like the salt mixture was too much. I had just changed my shaker with a different cap on it, and it had bigger holes, and I didn't realize that. So if you're going to salt these with the seasoning, you can be generous with them, but just be careful if you have a wider holes. The seasoning that container I have has really big holes, and I didn't realize I was pouring it on as thick as I was. All right, bye. So I have the Power XL. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it if you are on the you want to buy an air fryer, but you haven't had much success. I have never liked the kind that have the pull-out tray that is round. I've never been able to get enough in it. This one has 3 trays, and it's been perfect. So I'm going to put this in the air fryer, and we're going to let it go. I'm going to put it on 375 for about 10 minutes. And then most likely it will be finished, but I'm going to check it after the 10 minutes just to make sure. Alright, so when I checked them at 10 minutes, they weren't quite done. They were partially frozen, so that would probably be one reason. Let me get one of these off of here and show you how delicious they look. So they're tender on the inside, and they are so yummy. They have good flavor, and a little bit of spice in them isn't too strong, and they are delicious. So I hope that you like this recipe and you'll be able to follow it, and keep watching out. I'm going to try to get some more videos out with the air fryer. So you guys have a great one.